This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The Rippers, the Grasshoppers, the Hip Ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
103.3 The Fort Rocks in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Listeners jumping on also at Rock 100.5 The Cat in Oklahoma City, and our new friends at 98.3 The Keg in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Get ready for
Keg.
a big show. We like the Keg too. We're going to go down there to do keg stands sometimes. Random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories today: websites and beer. The return of Ask the Men's Room coming up. Yes, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. We just had a random question about ever dating someone with a fetish, and the reason for that question is this. Some guy went on Reddit last week looking for advice on what to do about his girlfriend's weird fetish that involves feeding him pre-chewed food like a bird.
How about this? Say no.
In case it's not clear, she likes to chew his food for him, then either spit it into his mouth or onto a plate. And he says he's not into it.
What is his... Look, there's a lot of things that you tolerate from someone because you want to be intimate with them or you enjoy spending time with them, but I feel very comfortable saying, hey, man, you know what? No, I'm going to chew my own food.
They've been together about 7 months, and she just moved in with him 2 months ago before the bird feeding stuff started. He says he turned to the internet because he's too embarrassed to ask his friends. But he thinks it started when she made him some, quote, weird scrambled eggs the day before Christmas.
Oh.
He didn't know then, but now he's pretty sure they'd been pre-chewed.
They were boiled when I started.
So she might have done it at least once without telling him. Then she did it with a strawberry while they were getting it on. And ever since then, it's been a regular thing. It's not always sexual. She wants to do it during meals, too. He's told her he doesn't like it, but when he refuses, she starts crying and claims he does not love her. So, yeah, pretty much everyone is telling him to run like hell, but he doesn't want to just throw it all away because he's perfect except for this one weird thing and this one weird thing.
Hey, man, I mean, everybody's got something, but that's a bit much.
I want to say I read something about a restaurant doing that. Like within the past
on the
week.
food, right?
No, well, the one thing that Miles said is like, intimate. It's a strawberry. Like, look, when you're being intimate, I can accept that because we're swapping a whole lot of stuff that otherwise, like, if you just said, hey, here's a frosty mug of butt sweat, I would turn you down. But in the throes of passion, I understand that these things happen. But, like, if I just want to eat my dinner and you're like, come on, baby, let me chew it. Like, listen, I don't want you to confuse this for me not loving you. I have a fetish, too. It's called chewing my own food.
Even, I know where your mouth has been and you know where mine's been, but I'm looking for a kiss.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like in the heat of the battle there, it's perfectly fine, right?
Your mouth was just there, right, and we still made out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I get it, but that's during sex.
I mean, I don't know. That's a very strange thing. I'd be upset if I thought she was chewing food and not telling me, then serving it to me.
Well, I'd be very upset about
You
that.
know, if that what makes her happy, give me some chewed food.
You're down.
Yeah.
So you guys
I gotta see what she looks like, but I'm just
how good looking does she need to be where it's like, hey, man, we go out, we grab dinner, man, you grab a steak, and she's like, oh, baby, hang on. Gives it a couple good chews, spits it out.
I'm just trying to think
all right,
what chewed food I would eat.
Hear me out on this one.
All right.
She makes dinner for you,
Okay.
but
It's all
you gotta get a
pre-chewed?
couple bites that are pre-chewed.
A couple bites?
I'm still in. She's making dinner.
Trying to think what she could chew on for a minute, and I wouldn't like applesauce. I'm trying to think what
No, man, because it's much runnier that way.
and
you
it's
remember
warm.
having
You
kids,
like
man.
Cold, you like cold. I like my applesauce cold.
The applesauce goes in cold. By the time your kid's done with it and it comes back out, it's a lot runnier and a lot warmer.
Maybe yogurt or cottage cheese because it already sucks.
I want a steak. Put some work in, honey.
I don't know,
Pass
man.
it
You wanted
over.
to pre-chew your meat? See, that would be the one thing that I would
right,
be
like,
like, nah, dude.
Not the meat, man.
Yeah,
Random.
Show it up for me, honey.
What is that on your plate? It's my steak. Hello, Conrad. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. Conrad, here you go on the random question. How did you cheat, and who were you cheating at or on?
Good one. Being an honest person, this might take a minute to think of.
Oh, look, we all lie all the time. Cheating is a different thing, though.
It was a chemistry test.
That's it? A chemistry test, really?
Yeah, I rolled up an answer sheet into a transparent pen, and I was looking at the answers the whole time.
How did you do on the test?
I got caught, actually. So
You got caught? How did, why? Because he looked at you reading through your pen and spinning it?
yeah, I think the teacher had kind of a heads up on the cheating routine that we were in. So
I think any
she knew
good
that.
teacher does. My 10th grade English teacher, Mr. Petter, this guy, he was a hard ass that you realize at the end of the year he liked you. But he'd said at the beginning of the year when he was kind of giving instructions for how you would behave in his class, and he was pretty infamous in school, but I remember he pointed out, listen, you get a quiz once a week, there's a test once a month, however all that BS works. But he said, I don't care if you cheat. I don't care if you have every answer beforehand on the test. But if you get caught, I'm going to give you a 0 for the quarter, right? And people wanted to take on this challenge. And then he took about the next 10 minutes in class, and he's writing on the blackboard and wrote down every possible way. And as he'd write down new things, you'd hear different kids in the class going, oh, God.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. This dude knew every possible way to cheat, so no one cheated in his class.
Not only that, but teachers aren't dumb. I mean, they know if you know or not. They know what students have the capability of applying themselves and doing well. They already know who their good students are. They know who has the capability of pulling some crap out of their butt because they probably don't know any of this because I've asked 10 questions to this person before this test. They don't know crap, so somehow mysteriously the night before they come up with all the answers and know everything.
And you get a 98.
Right.
And then
that's the red flag.
I always remember students get mad, like, I don't know why she doesn't believe me. It's like, well, A, you're lying.
You're a terrible student normally.
Right. You average a 56, all right, on everything we do. You just got a 98. And it should be pointed out that also the kid that you sit next to who does study also got a 98. I think the teacher figures out what goes on there.
Reason we asked, how did you cheat? What did you cheat on? What were you doing there? Running a regular marathon, that's for idiots. It's a hell of an accomplishment, but it's quite the task. Now, think about the lunatics who run ultra marathons, which are even longer than that. There's a 45-year-old guy named Kelly Agnew who's one of those lunatics. He's an ultra marathoner. And over the past few years, he's had 4 wins in a race where everyone runs for 48 hours. To see how far they can go, which is insane.
Yeah.
He's done over 200 miles in those races, which means he ran the equivalent of almost 8 regular marathons in a 2-day period. And if that doesn't sound humanly possible, well, it's because it's not. Kelly just got busted for cheating during his ultramarathons by hiding in a porta potty. Race officials began becoming suspicious of him when he won a 48-hour race by more than 55 miles. So they started looking into it, and they found that he kept hiding out in the bathroom instead of actually running. To make his plan work, he'd finish a lap, immediately circle back to the start line, and hide in the porta potty. Then exit and complete another lap by passing the start line again. So last week, he was stripped of a bunch of his titles, and he's won quite a few.
How much time was he spending in the porta potty?
I don't know, but he had a strategy, and apparently it took him a while to figure it out.
But what is the benefit to cheating at that? Is there some huge cash prize? Are you the man in the I'm absolutely insane about how much I run world? Like, what's the true payoff for that? Like if someone cheats in boxing and it's like, dude, they made $15 million for winning the fight. I get it. You understand why this happens, right? But like ultra marathoning,
Runners are a little nuts.
I mean, you got to be nuts, but still, man. Like, what
And then you take
did
it to
you
that
get
next
out of
level
it?
of nuts,
Did he
man.
get a shoe endorsement? Does he have groupies? I mean, like, what
Who's
did
going
you
to
get
doubt him? Who's going to be in a bar and be like, oh, wait a minute, no, this guy's the best ultra runner?
Right, like, where is this ever important? Who have you possibly impressed by being, I'm the best ultramarathoner on earth?
I don't need a car. We could run there.
Yeah, I just
Let's take a day and a half.
Random.
Hello, Siru. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Hola, Pistola.
Hola. Did I say your name right?
It's actually Shiro, like hero. It's
Shiro.
not English.
Okay.
0. All right.
Ah, Siru.
Okay, Siru.
What nationality is
and
that?
I just want to say this is my first time calling, and Miles, I so love you.
You love me? Well,
Yeah.
hell,
You're loved by a
and
Siru.
I love you too. Absolutely. That never happens to me. Okay.
Hey, what kind of weird fetish? Would you chew Miles' food for him?
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't either.
Doesn't love you that much.
I don't blame you for that one.
No.
That's not real love, Miles.
Okay, let's go with this one. What fashion trend did you get on board with? What came around and you decided, you know what, I'm going with that? Now, recently, upon riding the bus, I've discovered that the new trend in hair fashion is to color it different colors.
Oh, it's been going on for a while.
It's been going on for a few years now.
But multiple colors.
Yeah, blue hair, green hair, silver hair. I've seen women who actually dye their hair what it looks to be gray now, like a silver gray, and they're
gray, and then there's that color of
22 years
purple,
old.
too.
Yeah, the purple thing's you. Now, see, that's your bus. On my bus, the fashion trend is to wear pants that other people owned and then soil them.
Right. And then we used to have...
and make sure they don't fit. No matter what you do, make sure that your clothes don't fit. And then also, to really top it off and let people know you're part of that trend, just don't smell good in any capacity.
Yeah,
have no redeeming value as a human being when you get on that bus. Just make sure you reek to high heaven.
The other trend I've seen recently with the men is not only do they do the Nazi haircut,
right,
but they also do flip-flops, no socks, but they're dressed up.
Sure,
like
let you know the casual.
On, you know what I mean? But they got always wearing flip-flops. It's like flip-flops all the time. So what trend or fashion thing did you do?
I have two really good ones for you. So I grew up in Kenya, and I came to the United States when I was 18. But the trend back in the 90s was the MC Hammer pants and then the cross colors. And I actually called in or texted in when Ted said something about we didn't wear our clothes backwards or whatever. That wasn't a trend. And I texted in and said that I grew up in Kenya, and we actually wore our clothes backwards. But our fashion was a little bit behind at the time.
It was so behind, it was backwards. We were so behind, we put everything on backwards just to let you know.
But yeah, I did the whole MC Hammer pants and the clothes backwards, crisscross.
Could you moonwalk then? Because if you wear your clothes backwards and moonwalk,
hell yes!
All right,
Jackson, I was so in love with him.
Then wear your clothes backwards, because then it looks like you're walking toward us.
I feel like too, if you're going to wear your clothes backwards, then you got to get a jacket that you only wear like halfway, so your shoulders.
Right.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're wearing the jacket, but just kind of around your arms.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the even before the hammer pants, it was break-in pants.
Oh yeah,
zippers, and they were loose fitting, and they were basically meant to spit on the floor. You know what I mean? Like that, no cotton involved. Reason we asked, what fashion trend did you get on board with? Apparently, the hot trend at several fashion shows around the world right now is skirts for men.
Oh, come on.
A bunch of top designers have made different men's skirts ranging from short, tight ones to ruffled ankle-length ones. Skirts for men. Get ready.
Is it a trend, or are they trying to convince you to buy? There's a difference between someone saying, hey, buy this, and someone saying, ooh, everyone's buying this.
They say this. Now, just because something is part of a high-fashion trend doesn't mean it's going to catch on, but
no kidding.
It can. And what if it does?
Yeah, they're called kilts.
Some do. There you go. Random question, 844-999-OLA. Hold the line. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Your guess is as good as mine on the way. The categories will be the 10 most influential websites of all times, or you can pick the 10 beers that Americans are not buying as much of anymore. Your guess is as good as mine, coming right up after emails from the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com. In the meantime, it is our random question, 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Marty. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
All right,
Here
Mark.
I am in the kitchen with my granddaughter, who's actually smarter than I am.
There we go.
School is very hard, and the pants we spun around on were called parachute pants.
Thank you, Marty, for that update.
Yeah,
It's
Marty,
only 37 years later that we needed to know that. But yeah.
But do you remember? Do you remember when I think I was a dropped call on my way to Seattle on the bus, and I was talking about doing a standing front tuck? That parallels with what? Breakdancing, which I was very good at, and I'm older and better at it. It's called mosh pit.
All right, Marty, I'm going to ask you this question. Well, this is I think
sir.
this is a good one for you.
Come on, Miles, get to it, man.
Have you ever been busted masturbating?
Yes, I have.
All right.
How more than once?
No, actually only once.
All right. And who caught you?
My father.
Oh. All right. How old were you at the time?
I was, it was before, I think maybe 7th grade, 8th grade.
And what did he say
Before
to you?
school?
But it was before school.
Mornings can be fun, huh, son?
That's what he said. Mornings can be fun?
Yes, and then he said, go downstairs and look underneath the workbench in the shop. And I did. It was no longer Playboy, it was other things.
All right.
Well,
It kind of makes sense, though. I mean, look, at that age, man, and my mother, she busted my brother and I, unbeknownst to us at the time, she found, like, our porn stashes individually in our room. She didn't bother to tell us then, but as she explained the story when we got older, she said, I'm freaking out. Here's my 2 boys. My brother's probably in 11th grade, which is supposed to be like 6th grade, whatever. So she's freaking out about it, calls my father at work, and my father's like, man, first of all, what do you want me to do about it? She's like, you need to talk to him. He said, no, obviously I don't. He said, there's nothing I need. They're at the right age when that's what you do. Leave them alone. Leave their porn stash alone. Now, I heard this as an adult, so it's one of those things where you get embarrassed for something that happened 20 years ago. Like, I had no idea, but as she's telling me the story, I'm like, so wait a minute. I'm like, you knew I had all that porn. She's like, well, yeah, but, your father said, man, just leave him alone. So I'm like, so every time I said, in a minute, she's like, yeah, we knew you were masturbating. And that was kind of a horrible moment as an adult.
Yeah. Man.
You know what I mean? Because, she never brought it up, but, now you're having this conversation, here's your mother telling you, and she didn't bring it up for that reason. It's just a story she told, but I'm like, oh, my God, man. She's like, yeah, obviously I knew.
This is a true story. And I don't know how this happens, because if you really were going to break into homes and do that kind of thing, I know the people to call right away. And when I lived in Baltimore, there's a company called BG&E.
Yeah, the power company.
Baltimore Gas and Electric. Now, what you have to understand is that on a lot of these homes in Baltimore, the gas meter that you read is not necessarily on the outside of the home.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times, in most of the older homes, which are most of the homes, they were down in the basement.
Yeah.
And the gas man would come to your house once a month, and it was almost like he had a key to everyone's home.
Because he was in your basement.
He was in your freaking house. And so, okay, one day, all right.
But you don't necessarily remember letting him in.
You did let him in. That's what I'm telling you.
Like you hear something in the basement.
He can open any door in your house somehow.
Actually, you know what they would do? This is not a lie.
Gas man.
They would be in your home, and you hear this voice coming from your basement.
Gas man.
Gas man.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, my God.
Like, how the hell did you get in?
You could have, like, ADT. You could have,
doesn't matter.
A 10-foot fence. You could be Oprah living in Baltimore, and somehow the gas man's going to walk in and go, hi, Oprah, gas man. Go down and read the meter and walk the hell out. So
if you have a dog, if you had a guard dog,
it doesn't matter.
You didn't bark at BG
They know
guy.
him.
They were friends.
Yeah, he unlocked the door for him. So one day I'm sitting there, and I have to go pick up my kids, and I never have any time. My kids are young. I'm going to town on myself. I'm at a house by myself. I'm alone. All of a sudden I hear, yo, man, gas man. He walks right by. I'm like, oh, God.
While you're masturbating.
I don't know if he saw.
He saw.
I know. And he's like,
He
saw.
Oh, hey, man.
How did you get in my house again? Like every month. It was gas man. And he was just there. It was, it's amazing. Like, I still think of that
you're
now.
flossing the bishop. You're trying to punch one out real
man.
quick, and the gas man shows up.
It's almost like they gave the gas man a key to every door in the city. I mean, he's got a door to your bedroom. He's got a door to your garage. Like, he just showed up. And I know you're thinking to yourself, this is insane. This guy, I swear to God.
It is insane. But they were in your house.
I am not kidding you.
It was the same thing where I grew up. And you never saw the truck. I don't know where he started his route.
He just started walking around.
Like ours was on the outside, but there was definitely times where like you never saw him coming or anything, and he was just there.
It's like a poltergeist.
He'd be like by the window, and it was just, and he'd be like, hey, what's going on?
Gas
You
man.
could honestly, you could have like one of those video systems set up, you know what I mean?
Everything.
Like motion detection. And even though you physically saw him in the house and received the bill and maybe gave him a cup of coffee, you could review your video footage and not see him. Like
You could be in a witness protection program.
And he knows who you are.
He just went past 4 people who are guarding you because you're going to get,
Right. Gas man. What's up, Benny Knuckles?
Exactly. Like, what's up, Carl? The reason we asked if you've been busted masturbating, Alan McKenzie, 54 years old, took a plastic sheet, a porn magazine, petroleum jelly, a plug for his backside, rubber rings, and tissues to a park in Bristol, England.
He needs that much to masturbate?
A father of 9 has been jailed after he was spotted masturbating in a park for more than an hour. An office worker watched in horror as people performed a solo act right there on the bench. The police heard that McKenzie was hauled away before a judge 2 years ago for masturbating in a park wearing just women's knickers. At the time, he was given a community order
knickers.
placed on the sex offenders list. He pleaded guilty to outrageous public decency, possessing cannabis, and intent to supply, possessing a knife, and indecent exposure. The judge says, you know full well from a community order that socially unacceptable and unlawful to engage in masturbation in a public place. Whether you feel it's right or wrong is eternally irrelevant. Because the guy basically just said, I'm sorry, please let me go. I know I've done wrong. I know that I have been naughty.
Is that what he said?
Naughty.
Who's
Yes.
been a naughty boy?
I've been a naughty
Your Honor?
boy.
You
Who's been a naughty boy?
masturbate in a public park and then be like, "Oh, my bad." I
For
knew
an
this-
hour.
Yeah, I knew this was. And
Right,
who
for an
masturbates for an hour?
But he put a plastic sheet down. He had a magazine. He had jelly. He had a plug. He had rings. He had tissues. He had the whole thing set up there on the bench.
Maybe it's just me, and I do things on a lean budget, so to speak. But when I'm going to masturbate, I really don't need a whole lot of stuff.
You don't need like a
I
kit?
need my hand. Right. I don't have like break in case of an emergency. Like I got rings, I got a butt plug, I have petroleum jelly. It's like, no, man. It's just me and my penis and my thoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like that's it.
Yeah, it's very specific, right? Like, is there anything you're into? Well, I got to be in public, in a park, with my rings.
And a butt plug.
Right.
I mean, like
That's a
what
lot
you
of
need,
stuff.
man.
9 kids, yeah.
Random.
Hello, Zach. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hola.
Caller.
Yeah, Zach, welcome to the show, man. Let's go with this one. What did you steal, Zach, or what was stolen from you? That is your random question.
Actually, last week had a laptop stolen from my truck.
Oh, man.
Was it a work laptop or your personal one?
Work laptop supplied to me by one of your major cable companies around in the area. And since I'm a contractor, I have to pay for it.
How much money is that going to run in?
$1,200.
Damn.
Okay.
All right. So what is
This
there
is the second laptop.
that's been stolen from you?
Yep, first one was stolen from the office after I wasn't given access to. I wasn't given the information to access the computer, so I left it in the office. They asked for it 3 months later, and one of my coworkers stole it.
Did they track that person down?
Nope, I had to pay for the entire thing.
So someone steals it out of your truck this time around. Like, I got my hands. Let's say I'm the guy that stole it. Not that I'm tech savvy enough to even bother, but if I did, is there any sensitive information on there that they freak out about, or is it just the fact that it's their computer?
It's such a secure computer. There's literally nothing they could do with it. So what they would have to do is, let me see here. They'd have to take out the hard drive, put in a new hard drive, load more information on it, and scrape off all the stickers. You got a brand new computer right there.
So maybe if you waited long enough, they just bring the goddamn thing back. How do I do? It's of no use to me. Here you go.
Yeah. Well, the reason we asked, what did you steal or what was stolen from you? This is a pretty good one. 26-year-old man in Indiantown was busted after he was caught shoplifting at the Rhines Market IGA.
Is it called Indiantown?
It's called Indiantown.
It just makes you sound insensitive.
Where's
He was in it. Was you saying New Delhi?
His name is Mali Aguilar Alvarez, and he is from Indiantown, and he entered the IGA at about 6:15.
What's up, Igga?
Apparently someone stole him pilfering certain things, so the security goes over to Mr. Alvarez, and they discover that he has a rack of ribs protruding from his waistband. Both sides of his waistband are full with 2 racks of ribs, one on the front, one on the back.
Wouldn't it make the most sense that if you're going to steal ribs, put them under your shirt?
It's unclear whether the ribs were of the beef or pork variety.
Still.
It continues. A further search yielded 2 packs of hamburger buns, 9 pieces of fried chicken, and some mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
Were the potatoes in a
In
container?
his pants.
This is what it says he has on him. They saw initially the ribs coming out of his waistband. But again, upon further examination, 2 racks of ribs, 2 packs of hamburger buns, 9 pieces of fried chicken, and mashed potatoes.
Damn, man.
I mean, if he could have just got by the way, the entire charge, guess what that was, by the way, in Indiantown, wherever that is. 2 racks of ribs, 2 packs of hamburger buns.
I'm saying misdemeanor.
9 pieces of chicken and mashed potatoes. No, what was the total on the bill that he had to pay? At
$90.
Rhines Market IGA. $32.49.
$35.
Damn, that's it.
$32. 2 racks of ribs. 2 packs of hamburger buns. Am I losing my mind? 9 pieces of fried chicken.
Well, you got to keep in mind, he could have bought the racks of ribs that are already like pre-cooked and you just throw them in your oven. So those aren't that expensive.
Okay.
And then if he's got 9 pieces of random fried chicken,
Maybe $12.
I'm assuming he just picked them.
That's what I'm thinking. Grab the ones you want.
Yeah.
or what fits.
But don't they
in your
give those
pants
to you
best.
in the deli? Like, you asked for, but
No,
you're
you're
behind
some
the
that-
sneeze guard, man. I mean, you don't have access to touch the
No,
JoJo
some you get
potatoes.
the tongs, man. You
Yeah,
just
some
open up
places
the
you can pick out the
yeah,
chicken.
the double doors. You grab what you now. But the idea is that you put them in the little boat thing. They see what you grabbed. and
Yeah, they don't think
charge
you're
you a
putting them in
quarter.
your pants.
Yeah, they don't put that sign up
In the
that
little
says-
boat
Right.
thing.
They should.
There is no sign that says don't put these in your pants. My real question, man, the mashed potatoes, right? Like of all the things,
They
like
got to be in a container.
even
Yes.
like, if I went to his house for dinner and he said, "Look, I'm not going to lie to you. Everything in front of us has been in my pants today." I would still eat the ribs. They've been cooked, right?
Not only that, they're covered in plastic.
The fried chicken, the hamburger buns, absolutely not. The mashed
Why? They're
potatoes,
covered in a bag.
Oh, the buns. The
buns are in a
protector
bag.
one.
yeah, but there's just something about it where I'm not comfortable with that of the mashed potatoes, man.
See, I think I feel less comfortable with the random chicken just hanging out in
That's
his
what I'm
pants.
saying.
Actually,
Yeah.
the chicken's probably the
There's
worst.
a chicken with a hair on it.
Right, because the buns are in a pack. I'm guessing the potatoes must have been in something. He just pulls out a chicken wing with a pube on it.
Yeah, but we don't know. He could have put mashed potatoes in his front pocket. You know, who knows?
Random.
Hello, Ken. Welcome to the men's room.
All right, Ken. Let's talk birthdays here. Now, we know a couple things about birthdays. There's a bunch of different birthday parties when you're a kid than there are adults.
Jesus, dude, there's one. Listen, I'm trying to break down the math on this. I just want you to understand. There's a birthday party every week for one of my two children to go to. Between the two of them, they don't know 52 people. So even if everyone they knew was born exactly a week apart, I cannot wrap my head around the math that says
It's
that
impossible.
every goddamn week there's a birthday party.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, when you're a kid, like, you'll have friends, they have everything. They've got all the new toys. They've got all the,
Sure.
they'll have really cool birthday parties at different places and all that stuff. And then sometimes maybe it's, but what would you say is the best birthday party that you ever been a part of? Whether the party was being thrown for you, someone else, maybe you went to McDonald's as a kid and had one of those,
Or an adult.
Yeah, McDonald Land playroom parties. Maybe you rented out a room someplace. Maybe you went to Vegas with friends. What was the best birthday?
Well, I grew up in Alaska, and my birthday is in the middle of December. So my mom used to rent out entire rec centers or the entire swimming pool area in a room to have parties with. And that's pretty cool. The only other one that was pretty, BA, my brother, when I think he was 9, we did a Jell-O food fight, like the movie Hook. And
Oh,
then
nice.
the next day, a whole bunch of people were calling in the city hall because there was random colors all over the beach, up and down the beach for about a mile, and they couldn't explain what the colors were.
Jellyfish.
What
Jell-O.
What town did you grow up in?
Sitka, Alaska.
Why do I know the name Sitka, Alaska? Why
It's one of the bigger towns.
is it?
Yeah, that's a fishing town, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yep. And
yeah.
don't they have the big cruise ships going to Sitka?
That's what it is.
Not a whole lot, but every once in a while they'll pull up and they'll sit out in the ocean and boat their customers in.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I've heard of Sitka specifically because if you do the Alaskan cruise, I believe, right, it's just one of the places they stop.
Did you? How hard was it to get laid growing up?
Didn't happen until I moved here. When I was
Okay.
13.
What age did you move here?
13.
13.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
Of course you didn't have any girlfriends. You're only 13.
You were 13. What age did you end up losing your virginity?
13.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
Wow.
Wait.
So you were really happy you
It's
moved
not,
here.
listen, man, that has nothing to do with Alaska.
Oh,
like,
man.
when I was 13, I lived in a well-populated area. I still did not get laid because I was 13. It really had nothing to do with, well, that and my remarkable charm. But it had nothing to do with where I was at. I cannot believe you got laid at 13. So what, transferred schools in the middle of the year, met some chick and went to your school and she just gave it up to you?
Nope. I actually got sent down here for about 5 summers in a row to do archery with my grandfather, and I met a couple kids in the area. So when I moved down here, they get all excited, and yeah.
Wow. Good for you. I would never look back. I'd never go back to Alaska again.
No.
You know what I mean?
Not at all.
It would not happen. Like, if I moved and my dad says, look, I work in Antarctica, and where I'm a scientist, and I live in an igloo for 6 months, turning knobs and stuff and reading temperatures, and you got to go with me. If I went down there and there was another 13-year-old, 14-year-old my age, and we started hooking up, and be like, I'm here.
I love Antarctica.
I'm never leaving.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay here on this ice desert and just hang out, man. This is my spot. You're so happy.
You would do that now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You would
Like,
do that right now. Like, dude, I took a trip to Antarctica.
I was there for like 12 hours.
I visited a base. I ended up hooking up with this chick, and I live here now.
That's right. It's not so bad. I don't care if people say
it's really not that bad.
I mean, you can't grow food or anything, but it's cool. The reason we asked what's the best birthday party ever. Oh, here we go. We go to Woodbridge, Virginia.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
And a shooting outside of a Chuck E. Cheese in Woodbridge is under
Come on.
investigation after a birthday party, according to Prince William County Police. Investigators say it happened at the Shoppers Best Way Shopping Center near Potomac Mills, which is a pretty affluent area.
Where a kid can be a kid.
According to police, a fight broke out inside the restaurant before making it out to the parking lot, where one of the people involved shot a handgun in the air and fled the scene. Detectives say no injuries have been reported. They also say there was an off-duty officer who was there who was not involved. Why? Because he was guarding the Chuck E. Cheese.
Because the
incident started within the Chuckery. And
the Chuckery.
It spilled. That's what I call Chuck E. Cheese. The Chuckery.
The Chuckery.
It's a pizzeria.
And then it spilled into the parking lot. And then, oh boy, what a birthday party that was.
Come on, man.
Random question, 844-999. Ola, more your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
With Miles and Thrill.
Ask the Men's Room on the way. If you have a question for any of us here in the Men's Room, just shoot us an email to the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com. We'll do Ask the Men's Room right before we drink and toast with the shot of the day. In the meantime, it is our random question, 844-999. Ola.
Hello, Dylan. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
What's happening there, Dylan?
Oh, just got off work.
Okay.
So,
Dylan, we have always we've had a kind of an unwritten rule that we wish would be a kind of a written rule in here about movies that show a penis.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When you least expect it, boom, there's a penis, and you had no warning. All right. So
our rating system, by the way, just LP, and the reason why I believe Borat was the movie that inspired this, and it was simply that I watched it on demand, and this is where you go wrong, because when you do something on demand, they tell you, hey, the movie coming up, mature. I go, okay, cool, and it says strong sexual content
or brief nudity.
Right, either way, you go like, cool.
It's brief.
This is what I signed up for. And maybe this is sexist, maybe this is wrong, but I think both men and women would agree on this. When you see that, you just assume it's going to be a lot of TNA.
We don't know. But I think
but you, right, that's what you assume, because that's 99% of the movies.
They can put that there. They can put that like, brief breast, brief male butt.
Brief nudity. This
tells you what it is.
I was stunned at how much penis kept popping up, but we thought, just as a warning, when you do these movies, it should just say LP for a lot of penis. Mm-hmm. This movie's rated LP. That's all you need to know.
So our random question. When did you see accidental penis?
Oh. Well, I mean, I lived in a communal, house.
Oh, boy.
In college. So there was 2 floors, and one floor was guys and one floor was girls. And so there was probably 15 or 16 guys that shared a big, think like a locker room bathroom.
All right.
And just the number of times that you walk in and you see Obadiah, and he's, 300 pounds. And
oh, poor Obadiah.
That's better than that's better than my roommates who'd walk in doing the helicopter and laugh just because they thought I was funny, then walk out and continue to dry themselves off.
At least they're being funny. He just pointed out this cat. He said there's 15 or 16 dudes, but Obadiah is the penis you hated seeing most. I mean, that's what I get out of this.
Why is that?
Well, I think it was like Ted's friend that's just sit at the top of the stairs and just hang everything out for you to see. It was like that. It was hilarious to him when he would just walk up and, in all of his glory.
It'd be on your shoulder, whatever he would do to. Okay,
well, that was the problem with my buddy too. He was physically just bigger than everybody in both apartments, so he didn't care.
Of course not.
No, big guys who are big guys don't care. My roommate Joe Ruth, big dude. He just walked around naked all the time. It wouldn't matter what he was doing. He was really, really hairy. But, he'd walk out just just completely, naked, brushing hair off his junk as it fell all over him when he shaved his chest and stuff. He just didn't care. Anything that he could do to just shock and awe you at the time, to make living with him just any more ridiculous than it was. That was kind of part of his bag of tricks,
How long did you live with that guy?
A year.
When's the last time you saw unexpected penis?
He walked out of the bedroom one night.
This is the last time you saw unexpected penis?
From him.
Oh, from him. I'm saying in general,
but this was
in life.
Okay, but here was the deal. We had 2 king-size water beds in one bedroom. I don't know how the entire floor didn't just collapse, because he was a big guy anyway. But they were side by side. Ruthie's got his girlfriend in from out of town. She was from Shenandoah, Pennsylvania, which is a lovely place. If you've ever been there, you know exactly how horrific she looked. And he's going to town, and I'm in the living room, and I'm like, when is this going to be over? And I mean, he opened the door, and you could feel the heat, the sweat, the smell from Ruthie. And he's fully exposed. He's fully ready, still ready to go.
Of course.
But things in there got a little dry. So he's just going to walk across the living room and go get some lube or lotion or something out of the bathroom. And when he gets it, you hear him in there pumping it like, and he's just fire starting himself when he's walking back like, got a little dry. And he just opened the door, shut it, and walked back in, kept going.
For a year.
I mean, me and Chad are just sitting there going like, oh my God, dude. Jesus. I mean, anything that he could do to just make you go, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like, great guy. I love him to death, man. It was crazy.
How could you not?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you just never know. Like, he just walk in like with his penis hanging out, man. What are you making, man? You're like, dude, I'm making breakfast. Get out of here. You know, you're like, yeah, why don't you make me some eggs?
That's all right.
No, man.
You can have mine.
Why don't you put some clothes on? Right, exactly.
Is this guy still alive, Miles?
Oh, I'm sure he is. God, don't ask me that.
I don't believe that now.
Yeah.
Now that you've said that. Mm-hmm. And he'll died of a penis injury.
I hope not. When did you see accidental penis? The reason we asked. A Palmer Township man took his dog to a local pet store, but he left his pants at home, according to the township police. On the morning of November the 25th, Kevin Steele walked into the Petco off of Nazareth Road in nothing but a long Kansas City Chiefs t-shirt, and that was it. Steele took his dog to the shot clinic, where it was received a rabies shot. Then Steele walked to the registers to pay for the service. Police noted the t-shirt was long, but that employees could see Steele's genitals and they were exposed and called police. He got into his car and drove away before the officers arrived, and employees provided the cops with the license plate number. Police said that when they got to Steele's home, he answered the door wearing nothing but the same t-shirt. Charges were filed with Steele, who turned 55, and he was arraigned in the morning. He basically said this: my dog doesn't have to wear pants. Why should I?
Fair point. That'll work for him.
Steele lawyered up. He's free on $2,500 unsecured bail, but yes. Walked into a Petco, got his dog a rabies shot without wearing any pants. That's impressive stuff there. Random question, 844-999-OLA.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.